And now for our next news special report.
Tonight we're diving deep, peeling back layers of media narrative that's left many scratching their heads. Have you ever pondered why the term terrorist seems so easily plastered onto our very own GOP Representative Jim Jordan, yet cautiously sidestepped for Hamas? The answers, my friends, might shock you to your core, but trust me, every American needs to hear the story and unravel the blatant double standards. Stick with me as we dissect the situation piece by piece, and believe me, by the end, our final thought will not only shed light on this pressing issue, but will make you question the very essence of our media's integrity. This isn't just news. It's an urgent call for discernment in our great republic. While GOP House Speaker nominee Jim Jordan is gearing up for what seems to be a whirlwind week, he might just have been handed the ammunition to make a significant point about media bias. The left and mainstream media, for reasons that boggle the mind, seem apprehensive about calling Hamas, known for its atrocious acts, what they are: terrorists. Yet without hesitation, they're quick to paint Jordan with that broad brush. If you need evidence, look no further than the tweets and talking points spearheaded by none other than Representative Ilhan Omar. She's often been silent when it comes to addressing Hamas actions, but when it comes to Jim Jordan, she brought up a 2015 statement reminding everyone that former Speaker of the House Boehner's words that tagged Jordan as a terrorist in legislative terms. Let's pause to put things in perspective for a moment, because America faces threats from various corners, natural, political, and economic. In such unpredictable times, it's essential to be prepared. So think about it. The narratives around Jordan are much like unexpected crises. They don't come with warnings or scripts. That's why it's vital to safeguard ourselves and our families. And a timely consideration is at My Patriot Supply. They're offering a remarkable 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food kit. Just as you'd want to protect your family from unforeseen events, consider this kit as a safeguard. Don't miss this limited time opportunity. Check out preparewithgary.com and seize that 25% discount. Now back to the story at hand. NBC's Early Today played along with Omar's narrative, rounding off their segment by reiterating the Jim Jordan as terrorist tag, putting extra emphasis on the claim. Watch this.
Jordan's candidacy is controversial. He voted to object to the 2020 election results. On the floor, Democrats attacked Jordan's record.
Even leaders of his own party have called him a legislative terrorist.
Our thanks to Ryan for that update.
Yeah, nice way to close it out. Not to be outdone, MSNBC's Larry O'Donnell too hopped on the bandwagon. His segment featured Pete Aguilar painting Jordan with the same terrorist brush. Though in a rare display of balance, his show did label Hamas with the T word. Watch.
Before that vote, California Democrat Pete Aguilar said this about Republican candidate for Speaker Jim Jordan.
A vote today to make the architect of a nationwide abortion ban a vocal election denier and an insurrection insider to the Speaker of this House would be a terrible message to the country and our allies. Mr. Speaker, it would send an even more troubling message to our enemies that the very people who would seek to undermine democracy are rewarded with positions of immense power. We're talking about someone who has spent his entire career trying to hold our country back, putting our national security in danger, attempting government shutdown after government shutdown, wasting taxpayer dollars on baseless investigations with dead ends, authoring the very bill that would ban abortion nationwide without exceptions, and inciting violence on this chamber. Even leaders of his own party have called him a legislative terrorist.
The January 6th committee's final report said, quote, Representative Jordan was a significant player in President Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election.
But as Newsbusters executive editor Tim Graham, who perhaps presents the most damning of this bias, He highlighted that while PBS could easily call Jordan a terrorist, they referred to actual Hamas terrorists as mere militants. A peculiar choice of words indeed. Watch.
As a rank-and-file member, Jordan changed the game, attempting to extract gains with the threat of a government shutdown. Former Speaker John Boehner, who Jordan helped push out of that position in 2015, dubbed Jordan a legislative terrorist.
John Boehner probably would have rather set himself on fire than given Jim Jordan any position of authority.
In recent years, Jordan became a staunch ally of former President Donald Trump, who even awarded Jordan the Presidential Medal of Freedom in the closing days of the Trump administration, the former president endorsing Jordan in his bid for Speaker.
I think Jim will be Speaker of the House.
Their strong ties were on display in the days after the 2020 presidential election, when Trump claimed the election was stolen. Jordan echoed and amplified those doubts and worked on plans to keep President Trump in power.
Something doesn't feel right here. Our president got 9 million more votes this time than he did 4 years ago.
In the days leading up to the January 6th insurrection, Jordan, Trump, and other Freedom Caucus members held a discussion on strategies for delaying the certification of the electoral vote, according to the House January 6th committee report. And the day before, the committee wrote, Jordan texted White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, passing along a memo advising that Vice President Pence should call out the electoral votes that he believes are unconstitutional as no electoral votes at all. Jordan and Trump spoke several times on January 6, and the day culminated with Jordan joining many of his Republican colleagues to object to the certification of the Electoral College vote. Jordan has repeatedly denied wrongdoing, saying the committee has twisted the evidence. He refused to comply with a subpoena to testify. Jordan's history pushing for Trump's stolen election lies could be politically toxic for some moderate Republicans in swing districts next year.
Every Republican who casts their vote for him is siding with an insurrectionist against our democracy.
Unbelievable. Well, Joy Reid of CBS didn't hold back either. In what seemed like a casual conversation with Nancy Pelosi, Reid conveniently slipped in the term political terrorist in reference to Jordan, and Pelosi's smug grin said it all. Watch.
Told them to. Let me play what another former speaker, John Boehner, had to say about Jim Jordan. Here he is.
You call some of these members political terrorists.
Oh, yeah. Jim Jordan especially. My colleague from Ohio. I just never saw a guy who spent more time tearing things apart and never building anything, never putting anything together.
Kevin McCarthy, with the exact same majority that you had, and you were able to be very effective as Speaker with that majority, he couldn't do anything. He couldn't accomplish a thing other than get himself ousted when he was Speaker. What would the House of Representatives look like with somebody who John Boehner has called a political terrorist in charge? What would happen? Are we going to have a government shutdown? Like, what happens?
Wow. How Jordan will navigate through this maze of accusations and emerge in his bid to become the next speaker is yet to be seen. But what stands out like a sore thumb is the undeniable moral bankruptcy on display. This is not a matter of political differences or rivalries. This is a matter of deliberate mischaracterization and downright hypocrisy. The media and the left are clear in their intentions, and as a republic, we must see it for what it is. My fellow Americans, what we've uncovered today is more than a mere political skirmish. It's a disturbing expose of the media's motives and the dangerous games some Democrats are willing to play. The audacity of labeling Jim Jordan as a terrorist while tiptoeing around true acts of terror highlights a sinister agenda bent on pushing narratives rather than truths. Such blatant double standards don't just taint our political discourse, they erode the very foundation of trust we place in our media and elected representatives. As the guardians of this great republic, it's our duty to recognize and challenge such manipulative narratives. We must demand better, seek the truth, and hold those who distort it accountable. The fabric of our society, the essence of our republic, depends on our collective vigilance against such misleading agendas. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.